Father, what all is covered in Texas?
Simba, all you see over the horizon is covered by Texas Select Insurance.
Well, everybody, welcome to the first ever BuzzCast. Chad and I, we've been talking about this for at least a week, right?
It's been more than a week.
Bit more than a week.
We're going to say 3 weeks.
Well, and we didn't even, think about wanting to do this, but our fans demanded.
It was brought to our attention.
Demanded we do this.
That they needed more of the twins.
Which, I don't know if we've told that story, but we get that a lot.
Yeah.
Everywhere we go. Are y'all brothers?
Yeah, numerous times. Like maybe 3-4 times?
Yeah.
I mean, numerous sounds better. We'll go with
numerous.
Numerous times we have been labeled as, are y'all twins? Man, you're such good looking.
That usually goes hand in hand with it.
So
it goes with twins to good looking.
But that's enough about us.
No. This podcast is strictly about us. I hope y'all are okay with that. But we're over here in the beautiful IC library.
Mm-hmm.
The wonderful Mrs. Miller let us come and use a space. Which I think they hold FCA and everything in here. This is
FCA was here this morning.
Really,
big group.
Well, that's what she was saying, which is awesome to hear. To hear. But we wanted to just kind of go through and we're going to try to do this every week, I think, Chad.
Try to
upload every Wednesday.
Life happens.
Life does happen, and we are busy as some bees or hornets.
Busy as hornets. Yeah.
But yeah, we actually have we're gonna have our first guest coming in today in a little bit.
Some hardworking, well-deserved guests.
Absolutely, we're gonna have our wonderful drum majors for our IC prideful band that's going to state.
Internationally known.
That I think November 5th. So we're gonna kind of talk to them a little bit, see what their mindset is going into state. Obviously, everybody that's watching this knows the kind of program we have with the band. Mr. Tillman, unbelievable, everything he does. So we're excited about that. But we've had a lot go on this year. I mean, we're kind of a game and a half, almost 2 games into district for football right now. Not going exactly as we were hoping.
No.
Ran into a few obstacles, but
some injuries.
There's some injuries early on, losing quarterback, where I think we're on about the 3rd or 4th string quarterback at this point.
Yeah.
But, I mean.
And you talk about there's been a lot going on, and circle back to part of the reason why we decided to go ahead and move forward with the podcast is we wanted to make sure that everyone out there is up to date with everything that is Irion County ISD. Because as we've tried in the past, we've done some interviews, and that just kind of gets a little bit complicated. We needed to. It's kind of like working out. If you get motivated, you kind of start off like this, and then you come back down. But if you're disciplined, and so we said, you know what, we're going to start this. We're going to do it every week. That way, we can start highlighting, academics, band, ag, UIL.
Everything.
Yeah, one act play, debate, you keep going, the list goes on and on of how much these kids do. And so we just wanted to get everything out there for all of our many fans, our 5 fans that we have.
Millions out there.
Some would call it Buzz Nation.
That's true. We had the Buzz Nation.
And we do want to give a big shout out to the Buzz Nation for helping us to push this on, saying, yeah, we want to hear from you.
Right.
And then B, helping us come up with the name.
Yeah. And BuzzCast, right?
BuzzCast
is what we're sticking with.
Yep.
It could change week to week, but I think that's what we're at right now.
There were a lot of great names that were thrown out there. The BuzzCast seemed to kind of, since it's a podcast.
Yeah.
And it's by the Buzz,
it works out great. Yeah.
It's a marry of,
because we get into that whole hive nest argument.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
And straight up, that's something that, as we go forth with these podcasts, by all means, we want to hear from the people.
Yes.
And we want to talk. And so what a debate. That could be a conversation at a later time. Hive versus nest.
Yeah. Apparently someone was watching some National Geographic and had to do some correction. But
It
we
was-
won't
it
get
was
into
La-
that.
It was Lacey, wasn't it?
Lacey, she
Yeah.
knows all about it.
Yeah.
But like what Chad's saying, like obviously the athletics gets highlighted a lot with what we do because we're at the games. That's what we're broadcasting. But we definitely, I mean, there's a lot. These are student athletes, and what's impressive is how successful we've been in athletics. But they do a lot more than that. So they're doing band, they're doing UIL, they're doing all kind of academic stuff that takes up a lot of their time, but they still exceed and excel in athletics, which is pretty fun to see.
And we just had 2 teams go for FFA that did really well. We had a couple of kids speaking the creed or whatever the motto is, and so I mean that like straight up, that like maybe here at some point as they roll on into district and region and stuff like that, we'll get some FFA kids in here as well.
Absolutely, we're going to try to highlight everybody, even stuff that's going on in the elementary. Dr. Parker,
the spelling bee.
We do have the spelling bee. Maybe we'll have like a mock spelling bee here and see how well we do against some of the youngsters.
Fun. You know what?
They will destroy us.
We could bring in some special guests, i.e., maybe Morrow.
that would be pretty good. Get Morrow going against the people we send to nationals.
Yes,
and see how he stacks up.
That would be hilarious. So that is one of those like you as the people, you as the Buzz Nation. If you would like to see when Spelling Bee comes, I think that's in January, February.
Right.
When the Spelling Bee gets closer, we need to know, would you like to see Morrow participate against some of the 5th and 6th graders Spelling Bee?
Oh, I think that's a great. I don't know why you stop at 5th. I say get the 3rd, 4th, everybody at it because they do so well.
We'll bring in a 1st grader. Then.
Yes. Are you smarter than a 1st grader? Buzz.
Yeah,
Nate,
the BuzzCast
the BuzzCast version.
show, the BuzzCast. Are you smarter than a 1st grader? But so also talking about that UIL is around the corner, and how dominating has Erie County been in the UIL conversation?
It's just been unbelievable the last. I mean, I don't know how many years. When I showed up here about 8 years ago, they were still dominating. So it's pretty awesome.
I thought you were fixing to say whenever you were on the UIL.
Definitely not. No, I couldn't spell UIL back then, so definitely wasn't on the team. But we do want to highlight a couple before the Bailey and Brayling get in here. But right now, I'm actually. I take that back. I got some results.
The results
from the
are
cross
in.
country. We which is pretty cool because both the boys and girls varsity teams made it as a team.
Yep.
To regionals, and they were, and this is the first year
Yeah,
that it was not at ASU close to us.
and
They
where,
had to
where
travel.
do they go? Is it Grapevine, Granbury?
Yeah, somewhere up there
one with the
northeast
G?
by Dallas.
Yeah. So they got to spend the night too.
Yes, and it sounds like both teams got 9th place.
Oh, good.
And I don't know out of how many. There's a lot that go, right? So Grady Jackson got 27th in the boys.
Action Jackson.
And Tankersley O'Gage got
Gage
29th, who's
Tankersley.
somebody who came out of nowhere. I mean, I know he's been an athletic guy.
West Junior.
I don't know if West is where he gets that speed from, but the awesome thing, and everybody already knows, Berkeley got
Berkeley
eighth
Callaway.
in the region, and so she's going back to state. She's made it every year. The only year she didn't is she had a foot injury, I think her sophomore year, and didn't even get to compete in district, but she would have gone. So unbelievable talent. It's their senior year, so she's already, going out with a bang. This is awesome.
And shout out to the 2 new coaches.
Yes.
For the cross country team, with head coach Reagan Kalk and then assistant the legend
Don.
Never knew him to be the cross country coach.
Have you seen his stride on the basketball court?
I do.
It's a nice,
Every
even,
Sunday
long
night.
stride.
Yeah. He keeps his pace.
He does. It's a pace. It is a pace. I'll give you that.
He keeps a pace. But shout out to the coaches. I mean, nothing but good things from Coach. From the kids about Coach Reagan, and obviously about Coach Don. I mean, he's always been the great. But Coach Reagan stepping up, and the kids just love it.
Well, how enthusiastic she is.
Yeah.
I mean, she just gets them going, and because it's not a fun thing for anybody to get up early and go run.
Well, and
right?
she runs with them.
Yes. Well, there you go.
And we talked about this at the fun run too. I'm not sure. I'm sure Wendy is okay with us pawning everything off to Coach Reagan, but she was there. She was there. You know, these are elementary kids. She sees the importance of it, and so she was there stretching them out, teaching them how to warm up. I mean, so shout out to that. Cofell was there setting up the course, helping Coach Wendy, and I mean.
And Coach Reagan asked me to run with them, but I didn't want to demoralize them before they went off to regionals. So I said, let's kind of.
You're a boost of confidence. I think that's the otter coming out in you.
Yeah, I know. But and so cross country, obviously, and I don't know the dates. We'll obviously get that out to you of when Burke's going to be running at state. I think it's down there at Austin, right?
Austin.
Yeah, that's where. So she's always done very well. I know, like top 20, 30 the last couple of years. So really, so she's hoping to improve on that. Cross country is kind of, especially girls cross country. There's a lot of freshmen and sophomore that come up that you don't even know about, and all of a sudden you see them and they're crushing, have some great times. So it's a very, very competitive sport in 1A, but we wish her all the best.
You bet, and that's not easy. So
and another thing coming up. I mean, we're in the middle of football season right now, but basketball for girls especially is just right around the corner.
I'm excited.
And you talk about the legend O'Don.
I'm excited.
Now that's somebody that's excited too.
Yeah.
I get to hear about that all the time, but he's pumped up, and I think they have their first like scrimmage next week. So they're getting right back into it.
Is it next week or
next weekend
or this week? This coming weekend.
This coming weekend.
This coming weekend. Yes. Yeah.
But unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to see it because I have very important things to do, and I'm kind of leaving you hanging.
Just so everyone knows, he is going fishing again. That's about two games in a row that he would be gone fishing, and then the legend is going to be roping, which he has a little bit more. You know, he's actually
got more credentials.
He's actually making
on the
money over there. You're just going and spending money. So it's okay, Buzz Nation. I will be here. I will be here Friday. I will make sure that the game is covered. And I will talk to myself. I may have two different voices. I'll have a low voice, and then I'll have a high voice.
Wait, is that supposed to be me?
Yeah. At this point, because you're abandoning me, you're going to get the high voice.
I get that. Okay.
But so back to the basketball thing. Yes, you said first scrimmage this weekend, but they've been blowing and going.
Yes.
Already.
Yes.
They did a fall ball league in San Angelo with Chris Cardenas, which is always a tough league. And if I'm not mistaken, they kicked some booty out there.
They didn't lose.
They didn't lose. Well. And they're talking, I mean, you're talking Central. Was it varsity or JV?
Varsity. They have Central
Varsity.
They
played Central
there.
Varsity.
And they
couple of
unfortunately,
elite
I mean,
teams.
Usually you don't do this, but they were playing some district opponents. But that gives them some confidence, because they did well. So going into district, already doing well against some of your upcoming opponents helps you out. And I think both the boys and the girls basketball team, I mean, it's rankings, right? But they were both, I think, top 12. They were ranked 12th in 1A. So high expectations for both their teams going forward. But we do have Paint Rock on Friday, so football's not over yet.
No.
The boys could win out and still go to playoffs. So.
Paint Rock, Water Valley, and then so Water Valley will be away in Water Valley, and then Very Best will be here.
Right.
Which Water Valley by far is I would put them at number 1 in district.
Yeah, they're looking pretty good.
They're kicking some booty. They were what top 8? They were in the 8?
Yes, yeah, they were in top 8, and they're just. I mean, they've lost a couple, but they were tough matchups, right? So, but yeah, so we got a lot coming up, and
Very Best, they've been doing really good out there, and so excited to see how the rest of the football schedule pans out.
And it's interesting to see. I mean, it's 6 men, so we don't have a lot of players, right? But the coaching staff, they're having to work with the players they have and move people from different positions to try different things out and get the most out of them. So it's kind of a little chess game that they're playing, trying to figure out how to be the most successful they can this year. And we wish them all the best.
Yes.
There's a lot of talent on that team. There's a lot that they can. You never know. I mean, you got Lightning Laudermilk. You're one handoff from a touchdown every time.
Well, and that's we talked about the early injuries and the adjustments that a new head coach, and then Blocker. I mean, second-year coach, but he stepped into a new role.
Right.
I mean, they've had to make adjustments almost every week.
Yes.
With where personnel needs to line up, and I mean it's been tough on them with a schedule that was not an easy schedule.
It was a gauntlet before district.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, they played I mean, I looked at the
Top-tier
rankings, and
teams.
they had to have played 3 or 4 of the
Yep.
top 10 teams in the state
Yep.
before district.
Yep.
So, and that can, that makes it tough. It's good to sharpen you, but
Iron sharpens iron.
sometimes it can ding you up too when you play some of these tougher teams.
You get those early injuries.
Yeah. So we wish them the best, and Chad's gonna do an unbelievable job. I'll try to call in or something on Friday. But
I'm
it'll be fun.
still trying to figure out who I'm gonna get to.
Hey,
step
if
into
y'all have
y'all's
any
place.
recommendations, anybody that's gonna be at the game and you want to hear them on the call the game with Chad, let us know, and we will guilt them into being up there.
Oh yeah,
We're good at that.
yeah. You know what? We may end up having, if you have so many people chiming in, we may have to do every 10-minute rotation.
I like that. Just have a line outside,
Yeah.
just to come in and speak their piece.
I saw one drum major walk in. I think she was waiting on the other drum major. So
Yep. So we'll adjust some stuff here in a little bit, and we'll be right back to talk with Bailey and Braylon about the upcoming state championship.
Again.
All right.
So you get to start over.
We're here with Braden Paez and Bailey Rainey, our 2 tremendous drum majors that are headed to state November 5th.
Yeah.
For how many? Is this y'all's 3rd time to go?
No, this is our 5th year to go to state, right?
Yes.
In a row.
Well, but for y'all.
Oh,
No, for
us?
y'all 2 in the band.
In the band.
Yes, it's
Is
3rd.
this our 3rd?
Yeah, because
Yep.
so far y'all have got 3rd, then 2nd, and then now y'all are trying to get the
Chewing on the gold.
yes, get all
the
3 of them.
trifecta.
So that's pretty exciting. So this is because y'all went last year, right? Mm-hmm. So this is the first time that it's going to be back-to-back years. Usually there's an off year where you work on honor band, just kind of play music and sound wonderful as y'all always do. But so tell us a little bit about how the year has gone and progressed from early on when especially y'all's first time being drum majors, not actually playing a lot, but conducting. So let us know kind of how your year's been going for you.
Well, it's started off a little bit bumpy at the beginning because everybody is kind of new to everything. We've got 8th graders coming in not adjusted to marching or playing while moving their feet at the same time. So we're all just kind of getting adjusted to that movement.
Yeah, it's definitely been fun. Our band is known for being the fan favorites for everything, and that's because of the atmosphere we create. We have amazing leadership. All of the seniors and all the juniors and even some sophomores, like our sophomore trumpet soloist, are being leaders during practice, on the field. They're teaching these 8th graders how to adjust, and they're keeping the fun in band, which is why so many people in our high school are in band, because of how fun and how great the atmosphere is for teaching.
Do you know how many kids are in band right now?
60 something.
About 60.
I wonder what that percentage is of all high school and
Oh, that's crazy.
8th grade.
That's crazy big.
students.
Just because if you sit there and you take in, I need to look up the numbers again. I'm making stuff up, but maybe 130
Right.
ish.
Yeah.
Within just the secondary alone. I mean, come on. 60?
Yeah, and that's including 7th grade, which isn't allowed in the band.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
so-
if you had the 7th grade included, you would dang sure be at half the.
Right. And
half the
back
school.
in my day when we were probably known as the best band of all time when I won, back my 7th grade year, we only had
best trombone, the best soloist trombone that you could ever find.
I'm pretty sure they took my mouthpiece away during state.
You're
and just said,
you
act
were
like
just-
you're playing.
You were just blowing down a tube then.
Yes.
I see.
Oh, there we go. We got some bells going. But back then, it was what I want to say is it was a small band.
Yeah.
We only had 30, 40. So it's very impressive for a 1A band to have. Because I remember we saw, was it White Claw? Well, not White Claw.
White face.
White Face. Definitely not White Claw. I apologize for
White
that.
face.
White Face was a huge band when we first went a few years ago, and then our band's getting bigger and bigger. Now we're one of the larger bands at the state competition. You can definitely tell it sounds awesome.
Well, and I know him outside of band because I'm not one that's going to be sitting there playing on the horns anymore. But when you talk about the program that we have, you talk about the fun that you have, you talk about the kids. Let's talk a little bit about Mr. Tillman.
Oh yeah.
So You as drum major, so you went from band members to drum majors. How big of a shift and change for y'all working under Tillman, getting a little bit closer with him? It's how great it is to be a sponge off that guy.
You definitely realize how much work he does
Yeah.
outside of band, because he shows up early, he stays up late, he's always doing stuff, and he's just so knowledgeable about everything. Like, you don't understand like how much he knows and how much just random facts. And he's like taught me and Braden a lot about stuff we didn't even know about for band. And we can reiterate that to some of the younger people.
Yeah. Do you think if he had a whip, do you think he would crack the whip? Like if he walked around like Indiana Jones, do you think that
Oh,
he
he's
would?
probably pretty good at that.
Do you think he would do that? Does he get to that level of extreme out there?
Not super extreme, but like there's times where those younger ones don't focus their greatest,
Yeah.
and it's a little bit difficult to get them to focus sometimes. 'Cause
Yeah.
they just keep getting.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it, because he has, like we said, like 60 people, and trying to get 60 people
That's a lot.
after school, after practice, showing up at the field, staying for an hour and a half and trying to get them to focus. That's a lot for him
That's
to
a lot,
deal. And
yeah.
he's by himself most of the time, so
Well, and a lot for y'all. Let's talk about, you talk about early, late, like starting in, what was it, July-ish, end of July?
yeah.
Y'all had, y'all started summer band practices, and then now we've been rolling on into the school year. Like, y'all are out there from like 7 to 8:30 at night. I mean, and then working in the day. Like, that's a lot of effort out there.
It is, but it shows. That's why we improve so much.
Yeah.
I love when it gets closer to, when it gets to regionals and state, you can see the focus change. Because, I mean, you're learning the marching steps, so you're also learning the different, music for many months going into this. But now you kind of know your show, and it's just fine-tuning. And there's a lot of, distractions, especially when you're going to be going to state. So how do you guys kind of overcome that and make sure that the whole band is focused to make sure? Because we know we're a good band, and we usually get, go to finals and get third and second, but it takes complete focus to get that gold medal. So what's your plan, and how are you going to be able to make sure that everybody stays focused going into this?
Well, one of Mr. Tillman's favorite sayings he tells us is you have to work really, really hard to improve just a little bit when you get to this point. So when he says that over and over, like, it really sets the tone for practice, because we have to work harder than we've worked before. Because before, you're taking these big, gigantic steps to improve, because you're learning a lot in a short amount of time. But like you said, when you know your show, you really have to focus in just to improve a little bit. Because now everyone's good. You gotta compete now.
Mm-hmm. It's the minor things, right? I mean, that happened last year, I think, against Menard, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, and it's probably going to be like this.
Thing.
There's a lot of great bands this year too. So, I mean, it's subjective, right? It's what people hear, but I mean, you got to be on your top of your game to beat all these guys.
How excited are y'all to be the drum majors that lead this big group of 60 in the Alamo Dome?
It's definitely exciting to think about it. Just being on that field, conducting, knowing how many people are looking your direction, and going off of your general movements and depending on you in a way.
I like it.
Yeah, it's
Just gotta
fun.
step up.
And I see y'all up there. You're very, but do you ever want to just do a little shake? Because you get into the.
You ever always want to put the hips into it?
It's hard not to.
Or do you have to just be a?
Little Shakira moment. Them hips
Exactly.
don't lie. Ooh, that should be a
Hey,
song
that might
next
actually
year.
help y'all out. You might need to get more into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's hard when the band starts doing their little dance. I'm
Not
like,
to go along with them. Yep.
I'm like, I
And
got this too.
I've even I was videoing at Robert Lee, and they did their little sway thing, and I was in the stands, and I went, and I was moving the camera. I wasn't even paying attention. So. But I mean, that's just. I'm so super excited that y'all get to go again, and hopefully we just can continue this for years and years to come, and so.
Absolutely, and y'all know y'all have the whole community behind you.
bet.
Everybody's super proud of everything y'all done so far, and we're glad that we can help y'all with this interview, because you're going to get interviewed at state. Y'all know that they do that down there.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all's drum majors, you'll be on national TV.
And you can just go ahead and tell them that y'all had a prep interview.
Yeah, so
we'll
now
call
you're
it
good to go.
Prep interview with the BuzzCast, and that we did a lot better job. Go ahead and tell them that. Yeah.
Well, but thanks again, guys. We're super proud of you, and best of luck at state.
Thank you.
So that being said, we appreciate everyone tuning in, the Buzz Nation tuning in for our very first weekly podcast from the Buzz team, and I think I had some fun.
I had a blast.
I'm
This
excited.
is awesome.
I'm gonna be super stoked to be able to bring in everyone every week. Hopefully.
I am too, and I'm really excited. Y'all weren't here, but I think Mario's going to be in a spelling bee against some first and
we're
second.
gonna go ahead. We're gonna make. Yeah, we're gonna
It's
go
gonna
ahead
be
and say
great.
that he's gonna say yes to that.
I already texted him. He's good to go.
But that being said, you want to close this out?
All right. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, thanks to our sponsors for letting us do this. This is awesome. And we will see y'all on Friday, or at least Chad will, while I'm catching a big old red down south.
That guy.
All right. See ya.